Hi, I wanted to make a video about a, a specific issue for those of you who are more advanced in your PTSD recovery, and that you're also on the topic of the trajectory of goal achievement. And this is external goal achievements, not the internal type that we're working on in the beginning or in the middle of PTSD recovery, complex PTSD recovery. This is the outward stuff. We've already done the inward stuff. We've already done a lot of wound healing. We've built a lot of we've canvassed every area we and every layer, and things are running really, really well, and your energies are moving directly toward goal achievement and the advanced stages, just making your life fulfilling, satisfactory, rich, really you're self-actualizing. And so that's, I wanted to make this video. And so the title is You Don't Need More Tools, You Need the Right Layer. Okay. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the layers and getting the right layer and what that means. And I want you to see this from your brain's perspective. And hopefully you're going to fall in love with your brain even more than you have before. And if you're in the beginning or middle phases of your complex PTSD recovery, you have this to look forward to. And these layers are important to you as well because these are the ones I'm teaching you to work with. And so it applies to everyone. It's just different when you're working with this from an advanced place, or let's say you don't have complex PTSD at all. You're just in personal development and you're hitting a glass ceiling to your achievements, and you know that it's the internal world that's creating that advanced ceiling. It's your brain, those types of things. And so that's what we're going to dive into today. So I'm Rachel McLeod, and I'm a mental health therapist and an emotional wellness coach, and I specialize in helping people do the brain work for resolving symptoms of anxiety, depression, traumatic, the brain work that helps also resolve issues, helps the brain overcome obstacles, helps us achieve our dreams, our goals. This brain process is also responsible for dream life creation. And I'm going to talk about the layers involved, the parts of the brain involved that need to do their work, and how to support those parts of you to do that work to get your big outcomes, the good stuff. And there's a brain process for this. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. When brains can't clear an obstacle, there's a reason why. And we want to find that reason very quickly and help support it up over that obstacle. And this is a training thing. This is at the advanced end of complex PTSD recovery work. We're training the brain to do the more nuanced stuff repetitively. Right. And so that the more we practice and we intentionally help, the more the brain will say, wait a minute, let me see. I think I can do this myself. Right. And then it will take over it itself. And we've built its ability to reach over those hurdles. Right now, with personal development, we never reach perfection. So we could be doing this for the rest of our life if we wanted to. Some of us will, because that's just our fun space, and some of us won't. We just need to get over this hurdle to achieve the goal that's the most pressing, the most important to us right now. And so that's what this brain work is about. And this is a lot faster work than what we see in the beginning and in the middle phases of complex PTSD recovery. Okay. And so we can really expect really big shifts really, really quickly. I want to tell a story about that, but I don't know if I'm going to. Let me see if I can tell the story. Um, I, I discovered this through my work as a therapist. I thought I would just go in and resolve symptoms and we'd be on and moving. And I did that in the beginning. And then I got more and more complex cases, and then people with more and more complex PTSD, and it would take us a lot longer. And so I've really been working this whole big extreme of complex PTSD recovery. Some people are really have done a lot of healing along the way, and so we get really fast transformation. And others, there's deeper, slow work that is transformational and powerful and healing that needs to be done, and it just takes a little bit longer. And so, and the brain wants to do both, but really in the beginning we're really hanging out over here and we're comforting ourselves because we really want to be over there, but we're not. We're right here, and you got to be where you are. But when you get to this pace, this place. The pace is faster. Okay, so you can do a project in a couple sessions, either sessions that you're doing yourself, sessions that you do with a professional. You can expect transformation really quickly. Okay, and so let's talk about the types of goals you're achieving
Mhm.
now. And I'm going to go briefly here because I want to get to the other. I want to get to the brain stuff. Okay, so you might be working now on some personal mastery and fulfillment, right? This can be any area of your life. Maybe it's emotional refinement, or a stronger, a more durable self-trust. Maybe it's more nuanced than it was in the beginning. Beginning, it was just like, oh my gosh, I don't trust myself at all. Now you do, but there's nuances. There's fulfillment here that we're looking for. Maybe success, making success feel more meaningful than hollow. There's that inner and outer congruence where your outer life matches your inner awesome, and your outer awesome matches your inner awesome. That's really one of the things that people are going through here, and they want to really line those up. Um, Sometimes people are working with relationships and connection, that there's goals that they have in there that they want deeper intimacy. They want to lead with more clarity and compassion. They want cleaner boundaries that expand their capacity and the capacity of themselves, their team, their family. They want to create more reciprocal, nourishing networks, things like that. There's more purpose, more impact goals, and maybe they're pursuing a passion driven work or project. Maybe this is where you really are, your goal is to leave a powerful legacy of some sort, using your gifts and skills as a meaningful contribution. Those types of things, and expanding your influence without burnout, those are some of the things that we're looking at now. We're also looking at high performance goals and creativity, and just really getting your brain to create elegant, nuanced solutions for you that blow your own mind. That's fun. Also, we're also noticing goals with the just wholeness, feeling a greater sense of wholeness, wellness. Maybe there are physical goals we have, and that we haven't been able to address or put our energy into because we've been dealing with symptoms of post-traumatic stress. So those are some of the goals that we're looking at, and that are really, really meaningful to us. So now the deal is, you don't need more tools, because by this point, if you're healing in complex PTSD recovery, you already have a tool that helps your brain do the work of resolving your symptoms. And now we're going to use those same tools to help your brain build and accomplish goals and overcome hurdles and build out, achieve goals, really. And so those layers were the tools. If you don't have those tools, I have a free program where I'm teaching that. And the links are in the description part of this. And so you can find that right now. Try these tools today. See if you like them. If you don't, throw them out. But I think you're going to pick one. One of them is going to work for you really well, if not all of them. And so now you've got a tool. You don't need any more. Right now, the trick is, can you find the layer of work your brain is hung up on? And then can you get in there, and can you help the brain work through that layer of work? Because we're helping the brain. We're not avoiding problems in the inner world. We're jumping in and we're completing, right? We're not regressing and going back. No, we're going to any timeline where the brain said, oh, can't. And we're going to jump in there and we're going to help it resolve, because that's a place the brain learned an error, or learned to code the program incorrectly. And that program is incorrectly running and it's causing some challenges, and we have workarounds, but it's wasting our energy. And right. And so we want to just get in there and help the brain iron that out, and then create all this beautiful wiring and programming, that amplifies us and also gets us to that goal and helps us build out that dream life. So this part of the work really is dream life creation. And that's awesome, because if you started with severe complex PTSD and you get to this place, it is transformational. It is like night and day. It is like, it's almost unbelievable. So, and that's really what we're doing. And so now it's not about doing all the layers, which we are covering all these layers, but you're going to get to see, we're covering all these layers when we're doing the beginning and the middle. I walk people, my program walks people through each one, and we're doing a lot of work in each layer, each one of these layers. For you, it's going to be very nuanced. So for some of you, my program Inner World Transformation is just going to be a little overkill. For some of you, if you've gone through my program, you're going to be very selective. You're going to be like, okay, I know I need to work in this layer. I'm going to just do the exercises there because I know what I'm working with. For some of you, you don't want to go through a whole program. You're just like, I just want someone to help sift and sort. That's what I do all day long. I just sift through all the layers and see where the issue is coming from, and we work there, really. And so, but I want you to see what they are because your body's telling you exactly what the problem is right now. Your mind is telling you exactly what the problem is right now. It's, can you hear them? And they will tell you exactly which layer to work on. And the more you practice, the better you get at this. And so when you get here, and part 7 of my program is really about sorting through layers. So this is a skill that you learn if you do my program. So that's what we're doing. And we are learning how to do this faster and faster and to actually work right where your system needs it, as opposed to in the beginning, everything needs work. So we're just doing everything. Okay. All right. So the layers, I've identified 7 layers, and these are the layers that I'm looking for that are really important. And so I'm going to talk about those right now, briefly. Some of them, because you've heard me go on and on and on about them. Okay, so the survival level layer is one of the layers. This is the simplest one to shift. It is, you don't need any advanced strategies. And even though you're advanced in your complex PTSD recovery, or you have never had complex PTSD, but you have a survival system, and that survival system, even when we're overcoming our goals or doing something new, can stop processing. And so we want to get the survival system out of the way, and so that your mind body system can run that feedback loop and run it through the higher brain function states, brain stations up here, and create higher emotional intelligence and solutions and more nuanced things for you. The more this process runs, the greater your solutions get. And so if you've gone from severe complex PTSD and you got here, your brain has done so much processing. If you had a pretty decent childhood and you still have some, and you're more advanced in your where you're at in your complex PTSD, your brain is already doing quite a bit of processing. And so you're going to be able to come up with really some powerful stuff pretty quickly, because it's really dependent on how much processing has already happened. Right? And now you're at this place. So with the survival layer, it's simple. When you're at your goals and your challenges, that's really a place where you can use your tool and see if you just provide survival system support, basic support, what happens. Oftentimes the doors open and you're flying. And so if that's the layer that you're working with, it's simple, takes 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and it will just melt away and you're moving towards your goal. So it's great to just trial that to see if, is it that simple? Is it just a survival system thing? Is my survival system just freaking out and it just needs a little bit of support? Okay, so that's one of the layers. One of the next layers that I check for is the body and the somatic layer. And this is because the body is the slowest part of us to get the healing work accomplished. That feedback loop, that sensation of distress, the survival system really reacts to that pain and shuts things down quickly. And so the body can have such a hard time completing their projects. So it's not wild to find areas, find somatic distress in the body that is actually blocking your goals. And so we are going to look for that. What's your body saying? Is your body saying, I'm not going to that goal? If so, we're going to help the body resolve its issues so that it's also leaning in towards your goals. Your survival system will shut down your entire system and your entire project if the body is not okay with things. And so the body is the slowest, and it needs the most help. So that's why we're going to use our interventions here if the first layer is not working. And we're going to use our strategies for this. I'm not going to go into strategies today. I'm thinking that I'm going to do another video on each of these guys and open them up for you to have a look at. A lot of the strategies that I teach I put them in my Inner World Transformation program because I want them ordered. and they go into a lot more depth than I can do in the video. So that's in there if you need more strategies. But I do want you to hear that one of the things that could be blocking your goals is your body's distress in response to the goal. That will shut it down 100% of the time. And if you know how to help your system process the body's information, the body's hesitancy, the body's resistance, and you can get that resistance to the top of the brain, they will sort this out and they will make a bridge specifically for your body that your body says, oh, I can do it now. This bridge is much better than the bridge that was there before. That was scary. I'm not doing it. Now the brain will go right over. The body will go right over. And so we want to be able to do that work and help the body have that conversation. I'm scared because of this. I feel jealous because of this. Like the top of the brain needs to know, not just you, not just your conscious mind, right? The conscious mind's all kinds of nosy and likes to get on the business, but that does not create transformation. That part of the brain that's not how the process works. So we need to get nosy neighbor out of the business and just walk the body through its process for having that communication with your executive function. Okay, the top team. All right. I also the one that comes after this, and I don't talk about this a lot because this one shifts with everything shifting. But it is really important and it's easy to program, and there are strategies for this. I don't actually have a specific one because, like I said, there's so many ways to influence this. And I don't want to tell you the advanced strategy for this because it's so simple. You will do it and you will skip over the work of the other stuff, and instead of meeting your brain where you're at. So I'm not going to talk about that. But your reticular activating system is the part of the brain. It's in the brainstem, and it's the filtering team. It literally filters what you see in the world, and it filters the opportunities that you're gravitating towards. It will disappear stuff. It'll be right in front of your face. You will not see it. And so this part of the brain is really important. We want this programmed well, and we want that feedback loop will automatically shift it into focus. But if there's stuff blocking, then the feedback, it's going to show us we're not safe, we're not safe, we're not safe. If we're in that survival mode and we're living in survival mode, that part of the brain is going to show us all, oh, we're not safe. Okay, let me show you all those things. And so we're missing out on the opportunities, the exit signs, the doors that lead to thriving, because that part of the brain is focused on survival mode and we're not safe. And so we want to shift that to, I'm safe and there are so many opportunities here around me. And that part of the brain will start showing we will start seeing that we're safe. It will start showing it to us. Right. And so, but we don't want to skip to just programming that. We actually want to help the body do its healing work. We want to help the subconscious mind do the healing work. We want to help. There's a lot to do here than just programming that and like making high function. And the rest of you is rotting with brain trash that has not unresolved trauma, unresolved material. It creates a crash later on. And so if you're in my land, I want this to be thorough and beautiful and built on a strong, awesome foundation. So, but this part of the program, this part of your brain, do hear me say, it is so easy to reprogram. And you want to get to that place where you can really work really well with that part of yourself. There's a subconscious layer, and that is when we're doing this work, we're working through your subconscious programming, your subconscious associations, your beliefs, this is your automatic operating system. And so this is the system that tells you how to breathe. We're not reprogramming that. But this is the one that does that. It tells you how to use your manners in public without thinking about it. This one's the one that you programmed already to learn how to write. And it's got that into the subconscious program. There's lots of things, lots of ways of being that we've developed that some of them aren't awesome. And it's subconscious, so we're not aware. And so this is a difficult layer to work with, just because it's like being on the inside of a little glass jar and trying to read the label. It's hard. It's like you're so familiar with this stuff, and it's your brain made it for you, and it made it to sit behind your awareness. And so it's hard to become aware of it. So this is a really great one to partner with, but there's also lots of tricks to pull up your subconscious programming in your own awareness, and really tackle the beliefs in there and reprogram to your wellness, your thriving, and your goals. And so there's work for that, and it's not a long time. So it's a really, this, when you get to this place, things are moving pretty quickly. Okay, there's another layer, and this is the energetic layer. Now, there is a lot of people talking about the energetic layer, and there's different camps, but I believe we're talking all about the same thing. But what I don't want you to think about is that this is witchcraft. You can if you want to, but I'm gonna make some statements here. Or this is woo woo. People like the woo woo camp is talking about this, and they're having a great time, and they're having a lot of success with it. But I don't think it belongs to them. I like to play with the woo woo camp on these things, because I like to see what tools they've got in their bag of tricks, because it's gorgeous. Anyway, but the fact of the matter is that our body is electrical, and there are electrical systems running through us. We are like these little battery packs, but we're also like magnets, and there are ways to move and flow the energy within us that creates health and wellness. And there's ways that if our energies are not running well, it's not going to create health and wellness. And so even just how the survival system shuts down electricity and chemicals to the whole parts of the brain and shuts them down, right? So we can pull the electricity back to the front of the brain, where there are stations up there, and power those stations back up by putting our hands on our forehead. And it's kind of like what we're doing is like those little balls, those little electrical balls that you see at the science place, and you put your hand on it and all the electricity goes there. I think that's what's happening. We put our hand up here and all the energy says, oh, because there's a whole electromagnetic field with our body. And so this is a subtle layer. And I teach a couple of strategies here, but I am an advanced practitioner in energy medicine. And so when I'm working with one-on-one clients, this is a way of working with your mind-body system that I have available if you want it. And some people don't, and some people do. And it's there. I don't have any judgments, because who I was 15 years ago would be terrified to do anything with that. I had a big OCD issue. I don't know if it's 15 years ago, it might be more. Anyway, time has lost. Okay, it might be maybe 20 years ago. But that energetic level layer is a really beautiful way to shift a lot of things. It can shift things from the subconscious mind. It can shift things from basically every layer. And I think because at the bottom of who we are is energetic, and we have so much. Stanford came out with a statement saying a long time ago, and this was what helped me bridge over. And I've never found this statement since. I don't know what happened to it, but that our cells are communicating 10,000 times faster electrically than they are chemically. And it really was discussing how Western medicine has put so much emphasis on the chemical interactions, and they wanted to open up research on the electrical interactions that cells are having with each other, and our heart, mind, body system, our inner world connectivity is running on electricity, and that's one of the reasons why healing is so quick and so fast, is because we're actually working with the electrical shifts. And so that's why, and that's the support that survival system is looking for, is body. Like the body, my hand on my chest here is registering to my survival system so fast because it's electrical, right? And so there's electrical impulses communicating. And so that's what we're working with. And that layer could be really powerful to transform help you reach your goals and do your healing work as a person in advanced stages of PTSD recovery. And this is a lot of time with my therapy clients where I will pull them in to do some energy work, because we're finishing up. We're doing some finishings on their mind-body connection, their goals, things like that. And also there's a ton of information the body has to be able to communicate through the energetic layer. Okay. And it's really, I put in my my free program, interventions for inner world transformation. I put in a daily energy routine because it's so balancing, and it also helps start restoring the joy circuits, which is a trip to experience if you've had depression, anxiety, those types of things. And so to see your body start making some joy is wild and unexpected, and you'll expect it now because I'm telling you. But I don't use energy medicine to treat disorders fully. I'm seeing if I have never, okay, let me say that differently. I've never yet used energy medicine by itself to resolve a disorder. Um, and so I have a little nap, friend. It's that time of year. Um, Got to be a little more, anyway, careful now. Okay. So let's see. So, and I like to, in order for me to say this intervention will resolve a disorder, I need to have used it exclusively at some point to resolve the disorder. And so I have not done that with energy medicine, but I've got, because people are so happy with the other ones, no one's just like, hey, only work with energy medicine with me. Now, I think there's probably some other energy medicine practitioners out there that would beg to differ, and that's excellent. And they've probably gone through the experience of resolving symptoms and disorders with that intervention. So that's where I'm at on that. Okay, the next layer is the developmental layer. And this one's really important, and I think very, very overlooked in many areas of our field. I think this is overlooked in the healing world. I don't think that we are doing enough work here. And because it feels like it's so basic, we should be past that. There's things that developmentally that should have taken place in early childhood that have not, and we are living as adults undeveloped, unfinished. These things have never been wired in, and so we're walking through our adult life limping, and we don't recognize that, oh, this is I'm undeveloped in this area, or, oh, this is symptom is happening, oh, I can't reach this goal because I haven't hit this developmental milestone. And so, but it's true that your nervous system will not go past, it will not go farther or higher or more successful than the developmental milestones and what it determines as safe. And it's hard to feel safe when it hasn't accomplished some developmental milestones. And so many people are having challenges reaching their goals because some of the developmental milestones haven't been hit, or haven't been hit at a high enough level to prove to your nervous system that, oh, okay, we're safe, let's go. And so we want to jump in, find out where that developmental issue is, and rise it to the level it needs to be raised to, and go. In early complex PTSD recovery, we're just doing all of them, right? And most of the, and whichever ones aren't needed, the brain just keeps like, okay, next, And so, but when you're at the advanced place, we're selective because most things are running well, right? And we need to be able to recognize the developmental milestones and that are involved in our goal that aren't showing up. I'm going to make a video specific to this. I know that because I already was like, I need to make my list. I made a list. It was like 10 things long. I was like, no way am I getting that in a video today. So even though I want to, but I do want to jump down the developmental, I want to do a developmental dive with you so that you can be curious in yourself and about yourself. You'll see this with others. With this information, you start to take things a lot less personal because we're not all playing with a full deck of developmental cards because of how prevalent complex PTSD is and developmental trauma is in our culture. So even though we look like adults, there are some aspects of us that are just not developed at that level. And so this can happen with people that are massively successful. This can, in most areas of their life, their developmental challenges will show up in specific areas. So if you were like, why I'm so smart, I'm so successful, why can't I get this area right? Do I suck over here? Why am I failing over here? It's usually often a developmental milestone that is presenting. And then you just want to help the brain do the brain work for healing, resolving, rewiring, and building the developmental milestone. And so that's and we do that in a very specific and targeted way and can get that transformation happening really, really fast. The last layer is the conscious layer. And I say this last because this is the last part of the process. And lots of therapies start with this as the front part of the process. And to some degree, I think that can be okay. But in actual brain function, it's the last part of the work, the clarity of thought, choice, direction, decision making. All that stuff's going to get awesome at the end. Now, we want to be able to start, um, there's a word I want here, deliberately and intentionally using some of these clarity, choice, and direction to guide the brain through the healing process. But we don't want to mistake and start trying to solve the problem, think through the problem. That's a brain error, and we need to stay out of that. The conscious mind is we want to position that as the guide when we're working in the early parts of complex PTSD recovery in the middle. But at the end, we can go after that part because it should be awesome. It should be clear. You should be making great decisions. If you're not making great decisions, let's bring the decision makers back into the lab, the mental lab, and we're going to just figure out what's going on. Why are we making the same decision over and over again? Team, tell me. And your mind body system will tell you all the reasons. You help them resolve these, and all of a sudden your decision making is back on point. And so that's just an example of the power of that layer of work. And so also, last thing with this is that in the advanced phase, it's not going to be everything. It's going to be this subconscious programming for this area of my life. Okay, now there's this one. Oh, I have a developmental milestone. We're just working on the one project. And this is where you can, if you stay on that, you're going to get massive transformation quickly. This is where if somebody wants to take a 4-session coaching package with me, this is where your 4 sessions are going to see a beginning and an end. If you're in the earlier stages of your complex PTSD recovery, your 4 sessions are going to be very directional. They're going to be helpful. It's going to be a boost, but there's going to be quite a bit of work left afterwards because there's just a lot of work at these stages. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want you to expect it and not be heartbroken. Like, why didn't I resolve this in 4 sessions when Hillary resolved this in 4 sessions? Likely you're in different places in your journey. And so, and there's no way around that. And each place has its own beauty and its own importance, and it needs to be accomplished well. So while this is for the advanced folks, and I want you to hear that you can really make transformational breakthroughs in your goals, in your dream life creation, and really enjoy your life with this. And so this is something that I'm helping people accomplish in my online program. You're going to zip through this a little faster if you're at this level of work. And you're going to find that you're going to pick and choose, but you're going to have guidance and you're going to have structure and you're going to be able to do it on your own time. And you're going to learn a lot and you're going to do a lot of transforming and you're going to get to know yourself so well. And you're going to get to work with your team, your brain, and become this fabulous team. And that opportunity is available to you. If you would like to work with me one-on-one, these are powerful opportunities to have me sift and sort and help you identify where the layers of the work are for why you're not reaching your goal, where your emotional ceiling is, or how to amplify your ability to reach that goal. I will happily do that with you. Those opportunities are in my online my website. My words. I should probably hook my brain up here. Those are on my website, and those opportunities are there. Link is in the description. And then also I offer small group coaching, which is a really great way to dive in and work. These are work sessions. These are not group therapies. They're not, we are getting together and we are working. And I just provide personalized coaching to each member of the small group over and over again throughout the session. And so that's a really nice way to get a lot of healing work done as well and help you get your brain accomplishing your goals. Okay. And get that and keep building that wellness and those upgraded programs and wirings and that nuanced work. So wonderful connecting with you all. Thanks for hanging with me, and I will see you at another time. Take care.